Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Wednesday, October 6th. I wanted to talk about Smile Direct Club, ticker symbol SDC today. SDC has been one of my favorite plays lately. I've been playing it, if I pull up the 5-day here, from this run-up here yesterday. And so it's obviously treated us nicely since it was down in the low fives, or even if you caught it in the mid fives yesterday. You know, you're feeling pretty good, inching closer and closer to $7 today, I think. Get rid of this for now. Oh, I'll show you what that is actually on the daily. Forgot what I was charting here, but first I wanted to take a look at the intraday, and then we'll go out to the daily to see sort of like the larger trend, and then we'll go ahead and check out some of the data on Smile Direct Club, which I'm sure you're familiar with, but we'll just sort of get a clean update of where we stand today. Now, really good volume again today, as you can see down here, and it did a really good job of just walking up. Now this is the 180 MA, and as you see, it treated the 180 as really good support all day. Not that it needed to test it that much, but it tested it here, which was the first jumping off points, and then it tested it here as well. Now, one thing that I think can fool some people is how you play your MAs, and I think you just have to determine how you're going to do it. Now you can have a more conservative or a more relaxed approach. Now on a trade like this, because the winning is so strong, and not that I want to eat away at the earnings, but I would, for myself, I'm a little bit more relaxed in this position at the moment. And so all that I mean by that is just because it breaks slightly below the MA that I'm tracking it with, I don't consider that a sell signal. If it's a bit more of a dicey situation, then I might, and that's certainly a more conservative approach. Just have a quick trigger on once there's movement below that 180, jumping out. You know, you could do this, say the same for the 200 or the 50 or whatever. But on this one, what I was looking for is, does it clearly dip below the 180 and then establish that as resistance, and then not be able to reclaim it? So, you know, we could look at maybe a different day when we do see something. So here's a good example of it starts to treat it as resistance, but it then just chops around very, very close to the 180 and then reclaims it. The reclaim is it establishes support over there again, and you see it gets a really big push off there. So that's an example of that. Now here's an example of where it comes up and it tries to reclaim, and then it flips it to resistance and starts clearly moving away, right? That's not chopping around underneath, but relatively close to it. That's a clear move away from it. And so that to me is the difference that I look for, just to be clear. But this is just to say, you know, if you're looking for patterns that have evolved on Smile Direct Club to play it intraday or whatever, the 180 has been a really good indication to follow intraday. Now, all patterns eventually break, so that will probably not be the case at some point, but while it holds up, you know, that's what I'm playing. And then just sort of like a secondary look, it had this uptrend line as well that it was consistently bouncing off, and this was just such a clear indication that there was so much strength here to me, because every time it dipped, it just dipped directly into this upward trend line, and it's sort of continuing to do that. So it might have just had a brief period where it bounced out here, but because it caught itself on the 180, I really wasn't concerned at all about it, because it caught itself on the 180, and now it seems to be treating this uptrend line as support once again. So if that's the case, then I'm obviously very cool with that. If we look at the daily, what got me into this play was I had noticed on the daily, and you can just ignore this, it's just a holdover from the intraday that we were just looking at, so it's got nothing to do with this daily chart here. But we see back here there was this hammer candlestick, and this was on August 23rd, and then it established up over the MA, and then had a nice run up into nearly the mid 7s, but that was from 463 on the low. And so what I spotted the other day was a hammer again. And so it looks to me like, on the daily, to the extent to which SDC has a tendency to throw a hammer and then jump a bit. I mean, we see another hammer here. Well, this one's more hammerish than that one, though that's not as near at the bottom as the other ones are. But I noticed this one, and then because I saw this one evolve, that's when I decided I was going to jump into this play. So that's what sort of got me in at the moment. And that's how I'm playing it. On the daily, not really looking for anything else at the moment because, like I said, the hammer was what got me in. Now, there was this big inverted hammer that then sort of led to the sell-off. There was an inverted hammer here too, but as you see, it then continued to move up. And I guess the distinction there could be inverted hammer here, and then price action starts to clearly recede. It might be a bit tricky of a signal because, it receded there as well. So I'll have to see. But for now, I'm not really looking, or it's not looking like it's going to bounce me out and that a exit is going to be necessary because it's just performing really strongly. So that's what I'm looking for on the technical side of things. Now on the data, this is Ortex from today, Ortex's estimates. And we see the short interest here. This is obviously a short and short squeeze story. Over 45% of the free float shorted at the moment per Ortex's estimates anyway. Utilization at 100%. Cost to borrow over 26. So a decent cost to borrow. It would be amazing if that cost to borrow doubled, tripled. Getting close to triple digits would really, really up the likelihood for a squeeze, I would think. And obviously utilization is topped out. So there's a lot of squeeze potential here, I believe, and it certainly didn't do anything of squeeze outcome today. Like none of what we saw today seemingly is because there was a bunch of shorts closing up shop and moving on. They might have closed and then reopened, and that's how it's sort of like seemingly about zeroes out by the end of the day. But I'm not sure unless we were to look at like another source for more 15-minute or hour interval changes in borrowing amounts and returning amounts for shorts. But this is obviously the big play that I'm looking at for SDC. So we'll have to see. I've always said it's harder to effectuate a short squeeze than it is for the shorts to just get themselves out of it without squeezing. And so we've certainly seen that in plenty of stocks as well. But for now, this is looking really, really strong. I actually didn't expect today to be as strong as it was after yesterday also being very, very strong. So super pleased with it at the moment. We'll see how it continues, but to my estimate, it's looking phenomenal at the moment. All right, folks. Well, I hope your trading week is going well and that you're able to finish it off strong in the days to come. And I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.